better than ever. Face facts, cause your opinions don't matter. In all seriousness, how is everybody? It's September 29th. It's Tuesday night. It's eerie, dreary, raining, pouring, old man snoring, all that good stuff. But the Pajama Pants Play is back, and I don't know if any of you realize this. It's been like a year hiatus for me, or about, you know, I did like 2 videos after an 8-month hiatus, so if you count those two, maybe not, but what have I been up to? I've been starting college, working a lot, meeting people, doing things, going places, seeing sights, and it's just been one of those crazy months of my life where it's like I feel like I'm going out a lot more, and it's crazy. It's a crazy lifestyle. I mean, getting older is one of those things that I guess, you know, I'm just getting used to and just getting the hang of and just getting to a swing of it, but it's okay. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying myself, but I miss the old YouTube videos. I miss shooting videos talking about some horror. I miss talking about some wrestling. I miss talking about fast food and all that good shit in between. So I'm here tonight to talk to you 2 days before the month of Rocktober begins. I want to start talking about some horror films, you know, again, on my channel, because I gave my password channel to my buddy Nick Reap and my buddy Connor Larkin, and I gave them full permission that if they want to do video reviews, I don't know if they will, don't hold me to it, that they may, and maybe we'll have 3 or 2 new reviewers plus myself, so 3 reviewers now on my channel talking about whatever they want to talk about. If it's Halloween related, that's awesome. If it's not, if it's music related, they're both in a band called Vigilantics. Check their music out, really, really good stuff. Yeah, but it's one of those things that, I don't know, I don't want to just do this by myself anymore. Like, I think the more the merrier. I think it's one of those things where the more friends and help that I can get, why not have it? Why not have more opinions on this channel than just my own? Although mine is the most important because, you know, I'm John Grande and I'm the Pajama Pants Play, and I am the innovator, the masturbator of this channel, and you all know that, and you all love that. But let's get to the reason why we're here. Let's get to the main reason why we're here, and that is Trilogy of Terror from 1975, I believe, or 1976. I think 75. I was watching the movie on YouTube the other day, and I had this complete nostalgic feel because I had seen the movie as a kid, loved it as a kid. Yeah, you would probably ask yourself, well, as a kid, why was he watching this? Because, you know, he wasn't a kid too many years ago. But yeah, I grew up watching Trilogy of Terror. Really, really enjoyed it. It, of course, stars Karen Black in 4 different roles in 3 different stories and 1 movie. So a lot of weird numbers there, but it's always been one of my favorites, especially around the Halloween time, and it's certainly getting around there. So I figured I could give you, maybe the next few videos I do will be Halloween horror selections for you if you want to get your creep on, if you will. Yeah, so let's get into Trilogy of Terror. The movie was directed by Dan Curtis, who also was the innovator of, I believe, the Dark Shadow series, the dark soap opera of the late 60s, early 70s, I think. Sorry about that. Little interruptions, always getting yelled at in this household, but where was I? Yes, so Dan Curtis directed the film, and it was a made-for-TV film. It didn't, I don't think it had too big of a budget, obviously. I mean, made-for-TV pretty much says it all, unrated. Do not have a physical copy of the movie, just watch it on YouTube. They have 3 separate videos of it. You can watch each story individually, and they have 1 video that's just the whole movie. It's only 72-minute movie, which I don't even know if that's a full feature. I thought 75 minutes long had to be a full feature, but we'll let it slide for now because it's good old-fashioned horror, and that's what we all love, especially on my channel, at least. That's what I love. Yeah, but the first story is entitled Julie, and it's basically Karen Black is playing some kind of high school / college professor. Couldn't really figure out which one it was. And you have these 2 guys sitting talking about girls and stuff, and she's like kind of a bookworm teacher, really wears heavy clothing, doesn't reveal too much skin, you know, like complete nerdy teacher, professor. We've all had one before. If you haven't, you know, whatever, but... And she walks past this guy, and he's just kind of sitting there with his friend, and he just gets this sadistic look on his face. He's like, I want to know what she looks like under all those clothes. And it's hilariously, like, it's just so stupid, but it's funny. And then he goes in the room, and, like, he pretty much, after class, he asks her on a date, and she says, oh, I don't know. and she goes home, talks with her, I think it was her roommate, I don't remember, it might have been her mother or sister or friend, or I don't really remember which one it was. Granted, it's been, I don't remember the last time I saw it, maybe a week or so ago, and it was weird because she kind of is hesitant on it, but then she says, you know what, let me do this. Let me absolutely go on a date with this guy. He's like, I appreciate mature women, and they go to a drive-in movie, and pretty much he drugs her drink. Like, he's like, do you want a drink? Yeah, sure. Drugs her drink and takes her to this motel, and it's pretty fucking crazy. And then he takes all her clothes off and takes pictures of her, rapes her, and you get the idea of this. They don't really show it. It's a made-for-TV movie again. You just get the idea that he's this complete pedophilia-ish, horrible fucking dude, and he's taking complete advantage of her. And then, you know, he tells her, oh, you know, you fell asleep on me, and nothing happened. And then she pretty much puts two and two together. He shows her the pictures, and he's like, don't you ever tell anybody any of this, because there's no way you can prove it, and I've got you pigeon-held, and you're my slave from now on, and whatever I say, you do, and if you try to tell anybody, the consequences will be dire. And it's one of those, like, really weird segments where it's just like, you're like, oh my god, you know, this guy is really cool. And he's really, like, sadistic and creepy and all that stuff, and he really does a really good acting performance. But I won't ruin the endings of any of these, because I feel like these are definitely lesser talked about, especially the first two stories of this anthology. There's a really cool twist ending to it, and it's really, like, I came out of left field. I didn't see it coming. Basically, there's a final confrontation between the two, and it's almost like a WrestleMania 13 Austin Bret Hart kind of thing. That's all I'll say. If you're a big wrestling fan, you obviously know what I'm talking about. If not, then see it to believe it kind of thing. Really, really good story. Honestly, probably my favorite of the three. I just enjoy the overall tone and feel of it. I think it's really creepy, sinister. Really, really enjoy the first story called Julie. And the second story is, I think it was called Therese. I should have looked this one up. I don't really remember the name of the second story, but it's Karen Black playing two sisters. One is very similar to the character in the first story, and she's kind of this, again, bookworm, nerdy, doesn't go out. They make her up look really ugly, and then the sister is like really, really hot, and she has this horrible blonde wig on, but it just, I don't know why, it's just, I kind of really enjoyed it. I was like, this is just a horrible mid-70s wig, and it's really comical actually, and she's trying to hit on this doctor guy, and, you know, one sister keeps saying these bad things about the other sister, how she's vicious and malicious and all that stuff, and how she takes this girl's doll off the side of the street because she was being too loud and destroys the fucking doll. It's like the blonde-haired sister is supposedly really, really crazy, and the other one's just really, really laid back and, like, you know, hates the other sister. And the blonde sister has this whole, you know, oh, you know, her only passion is her hatred for me. Let her have that. And she hates her, but she's kind of, she thinks she's just pathetic kind of thing. Like, she doesn't pay any mind to her. And basically, the bookworm sister wants to, you know, kill her, but she doesn't know what she should do, and she pretty much takes one of the books from her sister's shelf, which is a voodoo book, and she plans to make like a voodoo doll out of the whole thing, and she takes her nails and her hair and her earrings and all these things that connect to her to make this ultimate voodoo doll. And there's a twist ending on this one too. Very foreseeable, because the first story actually had the, you know, the twist ending that you didn't see coming. This one's the opposite. You can call it within the first 5 minutes maybe, and I think that's maybe a problem. Maybe they should have ordered these stories differently, because I really do feel that this second one is the weakest, and that's unfortunate. But, you know, still a pretty decent story. I think it's fun to see Karen Black playing two different roles. You can largely skip this one. It's pretty boring. You know, not too much stuff is going on in it, but, you know, whatever your peripheral is, if you want to watch it, go ahead. If you're not really missing anything. But we shall get to the story number 3, which I don't remember the name of this one either, but it's pretty much the killer doll segment of the film, and that's pretty much the most infamous one of the 3, the one that everybody remembers, and it's this little Indian doll with this spear and crazy teeth, and it's really, really tiny, and it's almost like the pre-Chucky stuff. Like, it's very similar. Like, she buys this Indian doll at this shop, and it says if you remove the necklace, that all the spirits will come back into the doll, and it'll you know, come to life. And she pays no attention to this, obviously. She doesn't really care about it. She gets it for her boyfriend, and her mother is always in her business, and it's terrible like that. But it's pretty awesome to see that she's like, all of a sudden she takes the necklace, like falls off the doll one way or another, and then just starts fucking going crazy, attacking her, screaming a little Indian, and there's these really cool like camera angles from the floor, and I don't know how they did it. Like, it was like a tracking dolly shot, I guess. Like, it was almost like the bicycle scenes in The Shining, but it was done just as good, if not better. Because it has this little doll like running after her, sprinting her, and she keeps defeating this thing, or so she thinks, and it keeps coming back and keeps coming back, and it's just this ultimate like 20-minute battle to see, you know, this woman fight for her survival and this doll trying to kill her, and it's really, really entertaining, really fun story. I don't know if it's my favorite of the three. I guess I'm a little different. I like the more subtle story and feel and atmosphere of the first story and twist ending more than this one, although this one does have a pretty cool twist ending too. But you know, it's definitely the second best of the three, and it's always easily the most entertaining one, and Karen Black does a good job again. It's really her, she's the only one, it's her and the doll, and the only other people in the segment are she's talking to on the phone. You never see them, so she pretty much pulls that one off completely by herself. And once again, really good performance. She did a really good job in this. You know, all the ways she tries to kill this doll, and it was really, really, really fun. Like drowning and tying it up in a suitcase, yeah. Trying to open the window, throw out the window, and it's just really, really fun to see her try to off this other African doll and Indian doll or whatever. It's really, really fun, but she did a really good job in this. That's going to be it for now, I guess. That was Trilogy of Terror from 1975. Really, really short movie. Not my longest review ever, but, you know, I guess that's the way it goes sometimes. But I may be back to do a review of Trilogy of Terror 2. There was a sequel, and I do have thoughts on it. Not negative either. I think it was a pretty decent sequel for what it is. Again, directed by Dan Curtis. But I don't know if that'll be my next video, but that certainly could come in the month of October, the month where it all flies. But that's going to be all for now. I'm going to be back with some Halloween movie reviews whenever. I don't know when. You know, however my schedule plays out. And hopefully Connor and Nick will join me in doing some of these movie reviews. I may have some of them over Friday night. Maybe we'll do a group review Friday night with some pizza and some horror and all that good shit. So that's going to be all for now. My name is John Grande. I'm the Pajama Pants Player, the best in the world. You've been chilling them, guys. Peace.